What's up, everybody? It's your man, Joe Blackburn, and we're here for another episode of WBTC Bitcoin Radio, where Bitcoin lives. Man, I love saying that, where Bitcoin lives. It makes me feel so empowered, as if Satoshi was sitting here next to me. Today, I get to kind of go over a bunch of things that I really enjoy. And, you know, I'm a huge proponent of mass adoption of real world applications, use cases, things that make sense in the space. And we're kind of used to in crypto, things just, you know, when things work out or are actually being built, a lot of times they can be kind of boring. Like the blockchain in general is just technology. I mean, if you don't understand it, it's not that exciting to you. It's exciting maybe when your crypto goes up or your Bitcoin goes up in price, but you know, the actual development side or what's actually being implemented or how it's being used. I mean, it's no surprise. I don't care how my PayPal works. I don't care how when I go to the store and I buy my groceries, when I swipe my debit card, like that doesn't bother me how it's actually happening. I just need it to happen and I need it to be honest. Right. And obviously that's at times, you know, not even always the case with your debit card or other things. And that's the beauty of the blockchain, is that offers some sort of verifiability and trustlessness where, you know, it's going to happen because you can verify that it happened. But, you know, on the really interest level, technology can be boring unless you're literally building the technology, which that's kind of exciting. It's kind of like, you know, I don't care. I go to the doctor. I don't care how he's doing it. Just fix me and don't make me any worse. Right. Blockchain can be that way, where it's just like, let's make this work. But we're not always there. We haven't been there for some time, or we've actually never been there, in my opinion. And when I say this, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. If this doesn't change, we're going to have a hard time getting people interested in blockchain for the foreseeable future. So today, I'm bringing on a dear friend of mine, somebody who's doing just that. He's bringing the blockchain to the audience that probably will benefit it from not just the most, but immediately. It can benefit them immediately, because this is a huge industry, and that's the gaming industry. Gamers are a different breed. These kids grow up, they're used to using Discord. They were using Discord before you probably, right? They get on there, they're playing PC, they're playing Xbox, or whatever it might be. You know, they understand how to communicate with people who may not typically be in some sort of, you know, anonymous chat room or whatever it might be. It's just a different style of people, at least on how they interact and how they're using what they love and their passion is. That's gaming. All right. So today, Jedidiah Taylor from Decent.Bet is joining me. You know, they've had a incredible journey so far. And I will never forget that phone call when Jed called me and he's like, dude, we have what you need to hear. And I'm like, what is it? He's like, dude, we're going to gaming. And I'm like, esports? He's like, esports. I'm like, oh my gosh, talk to me. Tell me everything. Right. So we proceeded to have like a 2-hour conversation about everything they were doing. I mean, this was like a while back, folks. Keep that in mind. And I've been trying to get this dude on, and I'm gonna tell you that here in a second. But as I bring him on and as I'm about to introduce him, Jed is just an incredible individual. I have seen very few people face adversity and not deserved adversity too. Keep that in mind. Jedidiah Taylor has been just a stand-up dude. He's continued to bust his ass, and he's put everybody who ever had a bad thing to say about him straight up, like, come talk to me. I'm here, right? I'm right now. Like, what the heck is your problem? I'm busting my ass trying to make this work, and you're over here trying to tear me down. I've never been more proud to be somebody's friend, and I think, Jed, you're doing incredible things. And I say that before you get on because I know you'd stop me. Anyways, all right. Without further ado, folks, let me bring Jed on. What's going on, Jedidiah?
What's up, brother? Pleasure to be on. Always love talking to you. You're one of my best friends.
Absolutely.
Love you completely. And anytime we have an opportunity to connect, whether it's on an interview like this or in real life or over the phone, it's always a pleasure. So I know you've been bugging me for quite some time now to do an interview, and I apologize for the delay. It is what it is, but a privilege to be on, and thank you so much.
Well, to your point, you know, you delayed the interview for all the right reasons, you know, and when I called Jed and asked him probably about a year ago, I was like, dude, let's literally get this on. He was like, dude, look, I know I just excited you about this, but you got to be patient. I've actually got to make this work first. And I'm like, all right, I'll wait. And so only every other week was I messaging him, hey, you done yet? Hey, you done yet? Let's go. And, you know, fortunately, Jed, you were patient with me trying to get you on. And we did do one over in Dubs Gaming, I think, a few months back when you guys really were getting these things going. But Bitcoin Radio is here. I'm bringing you on. I think the ability for gaming, the esports world, to be able to put yourself in a position to really like like make every game that you ever play really important. That's incredible, dude. So just kind of give us a brief overview, Jed. What is Decent.Bet?
So Decent.Bet is a platform where gamers can monetize their passion. So you have gamers around the world spending hours and hours a day in doing what they enjoy the most, which is playing games. They're quite enjoyable, and I know you're a gamer yourself, so you understand that as much as anybody does. But when you can do something you love and actually benefit from the investment that you put into it, that's a beautiful thing. Because at the end of the day, like, time is money, and we've always heard that. We've all heard that saying a million times. But time is money, and to do something you love is a privilege and it's enjoyable. But when you can actually like monetize or make money off of doing something you love, what's more beautiful than that? From a career perspective, I think all of our goals are to find a way to provide for ourselves and the quality of life that we adhere to, but doing it in a way that we actually enjoy. And so by offering a platform where people can do what they love and actually make money on it, it's a blessing to be able to offer that. And hopefully people that use our platform feel the same way, that we presented them a product that allows them to make money off something they love, which is a blessing in my mind.
Absolutely. No, and I completely agree with you. And for those of you who don't know, me and Jed both, along with many other CCT members and Bitcoin radio listeners, were in Vegas. And Jedidiah and his company, Decent.Bet, partnered up with Litecoin for the Lightning Cup. And Jed was the host of the whole thing. He put me on the front and center stage. I was like, what is going on? Sit there playing the Fortnite tournament. It was absolutely one of the most incredible crypto-related events I've ever been in. I had so much fun. We had, Jonathan Abrams, first round draft pick, Oakland Raiders. Also, I don't know if you knew this or not, Jed, but he went to school at Mississippi State. So we're both Mississippi boys. And so we sat there. We had a great time. Had Joel Kahn from Bad Crypto next to me. We were just kicking ass, man. It was one of the just most engaging and entertaining and fun events in crypto that I could have ever been part of. You did. And look, I already complimented you on this. 4 hours of straight hosting and talking for somebody who doesn't do that. People don't realize, like, I've been in similar situations and I'm a talker, and I even left you hanging. You're like, hey, you want to say something? I'm like, no, I'm focused. I've got to win. Right. And I apologize for that, because I love the microphone. You're not going to have to usually ask me more than once, but that was just so much fun. And, it was one of those experiences where you see why this is such a big deal these days. You understand who is actually paying attention to this, and it's a lot of people. And if you think about it, Fortnite is a multi-billion-dollar industry. They gave the game away for free, right? They captivated children and adults both. And these people have taken this to the next level and made this really a lifestyle. Like these e-gamers, these e-sport, professionals, these dudes and girls too, they're stepping into an industry that has never been written before. And Fortnite really kind of allowed this opportunity to be entertaining as much as it is for an audience, as it is for yourself. Right. So my question to you, Jed, my first question on a high level is what is the goal of what DBet has been able to already accomplish, and that is to provide the service, because it's up and going. And I'm going to show a video of that here pretty soon. But what is the goal of like captivating? How do you grab everybody and let them know what the heck's going on between marketing and actually making sure that this makes sense for the company and for everybody else?
Sure. So, the goal is really twofold. Obviously, we want to build a successful platform first and foremost. And by doing so, they kind of go hand in hand, because by doing so, we help the industry as a whole. We're naive to think that we live in a bubble and that our individual platforms are only impacted by the platform itself. Is blockchain adoption and awareness impacts every company that's involved with it. So if we can accomplish a successful platform that onboards a lot of users, we do two things. First off, we achieve our own goals, but we also help the industry as a whole, because the more we can introduce people to blockchain and cryptocurrency and allow them to experience the benefits, again, doing something they love, the more we're benefiting the industry. And the more the industry, they're so tied together that the industry, our success is dependent on the industry's success, and the industry's success is dependent on the individual applications and platforms within the industry. So they're hand in hand, and it's to build a successful platform as well as to introduce, hopefully, tens of millions of people to blockchain technology and cryptocurrency, and why it matters, why it needs to be a part of our future.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm right now. I got on the screen. I'm just showing you, like, here's some games that are available. This is the basic site. Once you get in, you can choose. They got Overwatch, Hearthstone, Fortnite, Dota 2, Apex, Rocket League, Magic the Gathering, League of Legends. I mean, and there's more to come. I know this, and you've expressed to me, that you kind of just at the beginning. And I know you guys are through beta, your live product, but you're still getting all this together. You're still working this out. You got tournaments coming. You got a few other things. Why don't you kind of break down a little bit what's happening next?
Yeah, and in some regards, again, it's like, what's your definition of beta, or what's your definition of live? Like, is this our final product? No, it's not, but it is live and it is working. And I think, like, for me as an individual, I'm so ambitious that I'll never feel like the product is finished. There's always room for improvement. There's always room to grow. There's new games being released, and we'll continue to offer everything that we can to our users. And so the future of DBET is, you mentioned tournaments and peer-to-peer competitions, head-to-head kind of competitions. That's a big thing for us. Our users really want it, and it's coming very soon. So we're excited about that. Sure.
How are you being received, man? Like, this is a bridge to me. And as you just mentioned in one of your previous statements, is, you're helping the whole space out by saying, hey, this is a blockchain product. This actually works. You can use it right now, and you can actually win some money by monetizing your passion, as you're in your words. And it's so true. You literally go on. You're not betting against anybody else. You're pretty much saying, I'm going to win this game, or I'm going to finish at a certain point. I'm going to have this many kills, and if you accomplish that, you're rewarded back with DBET tokens. I have used this platform. Obviously, I signed in. You can see my account's not super high, so I've been losing a lot, if you noticed. And but nevertheless, I'm enjoying myself. I'm getting better. It makes the game so much more important. But is the actual crowd, or the people that you're speaking to on an individual level, are they feeling the same way? Do they see the benefits of this?
Yeah, they see the benefits. So, first and foremost, they enjoy themselves, and that's the most important thing about our offering. Is it's about enjoyment, again, sure, allowing people to make money off something they love doing. So everybody that I've ever spoken to that's used the platform, such as yourself, gives us incredible feedback that it's so enjoyable, and it makes the game so much more interesting to be able to not just play and do something that you like to do, but to actually be able to make money on it is a really cool thing. Sure. There's a reason Las Vegas exists, right? Is because people want to challenge themselves and do things that may or may not happen. And there's something about
opportunity. It's opportunity. There's a chance.
Yeah, it's opportunity, and it's doing something that money can't buy. It's like fishing. You and I both love fishing. No matter how much money you pay to a charter fishing operator, whatever, to go in the best fishing spot in the world, you might get skunked. You might not catch anything. And
I've been there, done that. Spent $600 and came out like nothing.
Yeah, and so you can't buy a fish. No matter how much money you pay, you can't buy a fish, and that's earning something. And there's that feeling when you earn something that is so rewarding. And the great thing about esports is you can't buy a victory. You have to be good at the game, and your skills have to allow you to win. And sure, when you do invest that time and that effort into developing your skills, and then you see the result of those skills is winning a match, or winning a battle royale, there's almost, it's uncomparable, the feeling that you get. But to couple that with not just being able to win a battle royale, but also be able to win some money while you do so, it makes it that much more sweet. And,
well, the thing about that is, Jed, is these kids are playing anyways, right? These adults, these people, they're playing anyways. And if you can captivate, and grab a hold of a certain area of that, just a small percentage. I mean, we're talking about hundreds of millions of people that are playing on a daily basis on the gaming world, right? Even
and just total users,
absolutely, exactly right. And I'm always so completely impressed when I get on and I play and I'm using this, how efficient, how seamless and how streamlined it is. It just makes sense. It's very easy for me. Obviously, I know someone brand new coming in though, they may not understand everything, but if you go to the actual homepage, I was actually on my account where I log in a second ago. Actually, I'll share the screen too, just so I can see. But when you actually log in and when you go to playdecent.gg, which is the home page for Decent.Bet, you go to how to get started. There's a video right there. You can press play, right? I mean, it walks you through everything. Now, where I find this so important and why I'm so excited, dude, is that as somebody who enjoys gaming, as somebody who loves blockchain, as somebody who wants people to understand the benefits of blockchain, this is one of those things where your casual or your hobby, or maybe something that you do take a little bit more serious than that. Maybe it is your full-time job if you're lucky. But if you're using this platform, blockchain is now becoming straight up ingrained in your brain as normal. Like, oh, this is working because of blockchain. Cool. And it's just showing up. It's just working for them. It's not something that they have to go and spend a lot of time, researching or what about the charts? What about no, you literally get on, you play, you win or you lose, and then you do what you want. You either play again tomorrow or you cash out, whatever you want to do. But it's getting people onto the blockchain space, like onto it, not in it, onto it. They're literally having to use it for something to work, right? And this is a very different perspective than 99.9% of all companies. And this, in the introduction, I brought up how, of all the people, 2017 was a year full of people who didn't want to do what they said they were going to do. And what did Jedidiah and the DBet team do? They built something, they evolved, they adapted to the market, they adapted to what the space was going to be. And bro, you brought something that's incredible that nobody else is doing, that nobody else probably even dreamed of on this level with the blockchain space. And you partnered with some of the best people to ever partner with, and I would love for you to kind of go into that and what they saw in you, and also to have that Litecoin partnership with the Lightning Cup, and for you to host that, man, that was incredible. But just overall, man, I know that's a lot to digest in what I just said, but how did all this happen, dude?
So I'm passionate about blockchain. I was a fairly early adopter. And I love the technology. I believe it's a critical part of our future. I think it's necessary for the society as a whole to evolve in a way that's beneficial for the average person within that society. It brings a trusted, fair, transparent way of doing things. The challenge is that like you said, it's like so much of it is in theory. That how can blockchain technology change things? How can somebody use blockchain technology in their day-to-day lives? That's still kind of missing somewhat. There's a few platforms out there, but there's not many where people can actually see what it does and why it makes sense.
Yep.
And so that was big for us. So being passionate about it, and then of course wanting to do something that was impactful to the industry and benefited the industry is how it all got started. And so we came up with the idea, we developed the platform, and we launched our first projects. And through our dedication, our hard work, I mean, trying to be as humble as I can, but it is what it is. People see that in you.
Yep.
And when you could present that from a potential partnership perspective, that we are committed, we will make this happen, we'll do whatever it takes, you start to become more and more appealing as the partner. And we've been blessed that people were able to see our passion and ultimately decided to work with us. And it's really the passion and the determination and the sincere interest to do the best thing that got us here.
No doubt. And Jed, you know how much I appreciate your journey. I've actually taken a lot. I've learned a lot by sticking true to who you are. Let's talk about the future, man. Like, what is it that we're going to see from DBet? Like, how I look at, where you're at right now, the scalability of this is quite large. I mean, there is unlimited games, essentially. I mean, if you could ever get every game, that would be crazy. But, that's not necessarily your goal either. What would you say is the future of what DBet's going to be?
Yeah, our goal is mass adoption of the platform and cryptocurrency as a whole. As I mentioned earlier, there's so much overlap, and the success of everything depends on everything to some degree. So it's mass adoption. And so our goal is to make this product available to everybody, regardless of their knowledge of blockchain. And the most important part of that is the people that aren't familiar with blockchain technology. And so we're working now on a fiat to debit option. So that's essentially like traditional payment methods, the payment methods that the average person uses every day and they're comfortable and familiar with, allowing them to use blockchain technology. And that's critical for us, and it's critical for the future of the industry, because what this does is it acts as a gateway to bring more and more people into the space. If we can make it easy for them to use and easy for them to experience the benefits of the technology, then they start to understand why the technology is important. And many of them, hopefully, will start to become more and more interested and involved in the industry as a whole. So by providing those traditional payment on-ramps and providing a product that not everybody, a lot of people, billions of people use, such as games, that's our goal. And that's what will allow us to accomplish our dreams as a platform, and for us to accomplish our goals to benefit the industry as much as we can. So building a badass product that appeals to everybody, regardless of their understanding of crypto. And for those that don't understand crypto, acting as a gateway and an education tool so they understand why the technology and why the industry is important.
No question, dude. And you know, I'm at a point where it took me a long time to, I mean, I haven't always been a gamer. I've enjoyed gaming, you know, like in college or even before that. But gaming is at a level now where I'm a competition fiend. I love to go play, you know, in a softball game, or, I mean, heck, you want to pick me up for a basketball game, I'll play basketball. I'm not going to do great, but, you know, if I can compete, if I can push myself, if I can and put my wits against somebody else, whether it's a trivia game at night on a family, you know, fun day, or if it's, you know, playing Fortnite online with my brothers or my friends, you know, on Dubs Gaming, whatever it might be. I love this. And I think about, you know, where where humanity's heading, and it's a digital world. It's going to be digital payments. It's also going to be a lot of digital jobs, a lot of digital ways of making money. First off, there already are millions of ways to make money right now today online, but we're looking at a future where automation and robots and AI are taking away so many things. So people are going to be home a lot more. They're going to be in front of their computer. They're going to be gaming. And I mean, I just look at, is Ready Player One even is a fortune telling, you know, situation? Because Ready Player One is something that really brought a perspective to my brother. Read it first, and then he passed the book along to me, and then, you know, I read it. Obviously, there's a movie about it too. It's almost like in a different way. It's kind of like, you know, George Orwell writing it in a few ways. Just knowing that this is the type of future that's going to exist. There's going to be a way where you walk into a digital world, you put some you know, virtual reality headsets on, you show up, you go buy and sell, you have jobs inside this because everybody can interact no matter where you're staying. I really believe that we're in a situation right now, Jed, where we're right before that happens. Like, I'm not saying that's going to happen tomorrow either, but this is in front of that. That's what DBET has accomplished. What DBET's pushing towards is in front of the knowledge that this is the future. Now, esports, obviously, as we all know, has gotten a lot of attention over the last year and a half. I mean, Philadelphia just built like some $70 million esports arena. We were just at the amazing Luxor where they had the esports arena there. This is only becoming more common. And if you're like, you don't have to be a gamer to be able to realize that gaming's a huge deal, folks. And if you're somebody who doesn't take it seriously, or who doesn't think that this is like even remotely something that's interesting, you're missing out. You're not paying attention, and you're going to get left behind. I still hear people tell me, oh, video games, pff, Joe, how old are you? 30? And I'm like, yeah, I am. Do you understand what's going on in video games right now, folks? I mean, clearly you don't. But I mean, I'm not going to be mean to them. Be like, yeah, I understand, man. It's just something I do on my free time, right? But when they're ready, they'll be ready. You know, how do you combat this? The same concepts that I'm explaining, where people don't take it seriously, maybe.
You know, to be honest, we don't. It's like trying to convince somebody of something that,
like buying Bitcoin,
needs convincing. Yeah, I mean, it's not worth the time and effort. You know, it's more important to spend that effort, that time on creating awareness for the people that do get it. It's like, what is the path of least resistance to success? And the path of least resistance for us isn't trying to convince people something that they don't believe in. It's really to educate the people that already believe in it. And that's from a gaming perspective. And when you look at like blockchain and cryptocurrency, the same thing holds true. Is I don't want to talk people into blockchain and cryptocurrency and tell them why it's the best thing in the world. I have those discussions all the time, but what would be more beneficial to the industry is providing a gateway where people can do something that they love to experience the technology. And it's when you see something firsthand, you don't need convincing of it. And that's the key, is let's show them firsthand why it makes sense and why it's valuable. The rest is history. Like, our job's done if we can allow them to experience the technology in a way that they enjoy. There's nothing else we need to do, because the natural progression of that is for them to fall in love with technology like we have,
Sure.
and like most people in the space.
Now, the people who are in early, everybody always talks about the people who are in early going to be rich one day, and that's common with Bitcoin. I'm hoping that that's the case as well, because I've been in early enough and stacking and putting my sats away, but it's more than that, to bring about opportunities for the entire world, for people who have never had them before. We want better competition. We want, and this not just in esports or in athletes. We want that on a personal level. I want all companies to compete. I want the best product. I want it at the best price for me. I want it to make the most sense. I want it to be easy. I want customer service, all these things. And I'm, of course, as a liberty-minded individual, and I'm a free market person, and I'm not trying to put politics or any ideology as far as that goes into this, but I look forward to a day when the blockchain allows this free market to really bring about competition for the right reasons and really great products, and through that, I believe that whether it's digital and it's in a Ready Player One environment, or whether it's in person, and Amazon is a great example of that, where we have a digital marketplace. We're still physically clicking on things, but one day you'll be grocery shopping, or you're going to be shopping for school clothes with a VR headset, walking through aisles, maybe even trying clothes on, right? Exactly, the real shopping cart, right? Like that's happening. And so, although very different than what Decent.Bet has done so far, it's so similar compared to what everybody else is looking at right now. There is nothing closer, in my opinion, outside of maybe Decentraland and a few others that are building these environments. But I can't wait to see what happens next. And so let me ask you this, Jed. How are you marketing to people right now? Like, what is the roadmap for getting people and onboarding people? Obviously you guys have done a great job already, and the competition on there is already starting to happen. But clearly you guys want to grow and you want the exposure. Who are you going after?
So right now, just based on there's friction associated with adopting blockchain technology. There is, let's just be real. The industry is where it is, and we don't want to be, it's more important to be educated and conscious than it is to be naive, because when you're educated and conscious, you can actually solve the problems rather than thinking that they don't need to be solved. So there's friction there. So right now, our marketing plan has been really focused on those that are familiar with blockchain technology. And then specifically, we work with our partner Playvig, that has hundreds of thousands of monthly active users, and educating them and onboarding them to our platform. So it's for me, it's all about what is the lowest hanging fruit. You heard me say path of least resistance, lowest hanging fruit, things of this nature. It's the most intelligent way to move forward in my mind. Sure. So the lowest hanging fruit for us right now is the people that are familiar with cryptocurrency, are really passionate about gaming, but with a focus on the people that are familiar with cryptocurrency because of the friction to onboard. So that's where our current focuses are. And when you look forward as to where we're headed, then once the fiat to DBET on ramp is there and we eliminate that friction, then it's the floodgates. We feel like it just opens this up to every single gamer in the world.
Yep. And
we have no marketing limitations to pick that low hanging fruit, because literally everything is low hanging fruit. Monetize your passion. There's no place else you can do it. Do it here. But we need to eliminate that friction. So we're hyper focused on that traditional payment to blockchain on ramp, and then that's when the floodgates will open and we'll go into some real mass marketing, which will be focused on the gamers.
Yeah, sports players. I look at and I'll just use Fortnite as an example here. I go to Fortnite, and Fortnite, you can go and buy V-Bucks. And these V-Bucks are then used to buy skins or other these items that you're purchasing. They give you no competitive advantage, right? It's really an interesting concept. And I'm subjected to this to myself. I see a cool skin. Oh, I got to have it, right? And, and a lot of these accounts have become very valuable because they have certain skins on them and they've been around for a long time. But it goes to show you that there is a huge need for some sort of payment system and really a unified one, something that's very that keeps the continuity. And I can't think of a better project or person to lead that. And I hope that DBet turns into more than just you get on here, because it's so scalable. I mean, like the possibilities are truly endless because the token works on a blockchain. I know you guys are with on Thor, right? Is that correct? With
VeChain,
VeChain, yeah, sorry. Yeah. And with VeChain, you guys, I mean, it just allows so many different options to be able to use this for whatever you want. And so I can imagine people adopting the DBet token to be able to put this on their game or to put this on in somewhere. It just makes sense. And I think, people need to recognize like what you've accomplished, nobody else has done yet in the blockchain space. And it's an exception. I mean, to include, you're the only cryptocurrency and the exclusive cryptocurrency partner with PlayVig, if I remember correctly. Yep. And PlayVig is probably the number one name in competitive gaming when it comes to any sort of monetizing a passion in that sense, right? And so this is huge, folks. And I really want you to pay attention and be watching DBet and just let Jed prove himself. Like this is something that he's done, not just in our friendship, not that he ever had to, but he's done this in every facet that I've ever known about him. He's just shown up, put his head down, grinded, shut the hell up, and worked and fixed things or built things. That's just who he is. Not to mention, as a veteran, I appreciate all the work you did prior to your work as a cryptocurrency enthusiast and blockchain expert to some extent. That means a lot to me. I just know where your heart is, Jed. And I know what kind of person you are, and I'm not just rooting for you. I'm going to push you forward wherever I can.
Yeah, thank you so much. And there's a couple of things that I want to say in regards to that is, with all the humility in the world, I feel like we've already proved ourselves. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, right? Yep. So it's like we built the pond, and now we need to do everything we can in order to target a larger available audience by making it more simple and eliminating that blockchain friction. But the industry is either going to work within the time that it needs to for us, or it's not. And so much of it is out of our control. We delivered a product and a platform, like you said. We've done something that almost no one else can say, and we're still in control, and we need to do everything we can. But that's all we can do. And knowing what you can do and what you can't allows you to keep sane without going crazy thinking about all the what ifs, if you will. But going back to even like Fortnite and what you mentioned about like the skins and things of this nature, is they give you no competitive advantage, but they are what's called like a virtual asset. And so when we look at like gaming and blockchain, and you made some comments about this earlier in regards to like AI and people working online and how much we are living now in a digital world and getting close to that Ready Player One type scenario, is we spend so much time behind screens, and to think that somebody would spend money on a virtual asset that has no advantages shows you really at the core how much of a digital world we are. And that's why blockchain is important, is because it essentially allows you to digitize assets, digitize ownership, digitize so many things, and not just digitize it, but to do it in a trustless, transparent, secure manner. That's why I love the space. That's why I'm so passionate about it, because it makes sense. This is where it's going. And the younger generations, if you think about like, it's some demo, I don't remember the specific age group. It's like 15 to 24 demographic. The average person within that demographic spends close to an hour a day gaming. So how many people are there in the world that fall under those age ranges? And you can look it up on Statista. That's where I got the statistic. How many people in the world how many people in the world are within that age group? And to think that it averages out to close to an hour a day, for anybody that doesn't believe in gaming, if you don't understand the power of that stat alone, and that doesn't tell you how serious this is, I don't know what else to tell you. I really don't know what else to tell you. It's impressive.
And it's an interesting dynamic gaming is in general. I mean, I'll go back to, let's go back 10, 15 years. Halo comes out, Halo 2, Halo 3. Then Call of Duty came out and kind of changed the way that people wanted to interact in a competitive gaming environment. And although Halo is one of my favorite brands and one of my favorite games of all time, I'll still play it from time to time. Call of Duty really kind of captivated a lot more people and included a lot more people because it made a lot of sense, and it was cool. I mean, it's army, it's military, it's modern stuff with futuristic capabilities. It was just a lot of fun. And that generation, that's our generation, Jed, right? That generation, I remember last week or 2 weeks ago when Call of Duty came out, I was seeing it everywhere, but from only my friends. However, that's still a huge group, right? The people that are younger than me, they're like, okay, Call of Duty, cool, I might get it. But my group of friends were like texting everybody. My brother-in-law was texting me. I got, I got some friends from college, like, dude, you gonna play Call of Duty? But what it shows me is that back then, gaming was seen as a complete waste of time. Like, people saw it as nothing other than just, like,
you remember your parents yelling at you, right? Like,
my dad will still yell at me.
Life? What are you doing with your life? You're playing video games. What a waste of time. Now you look at this young man who won the Fortnite championship. He won like $3-4 million, some astronomical number.
Huge.
He won more than the Masters champion. I think it's the Wimbledon champion. Like, people, this professional athletics that has always been okay to do and worth time.
Absolutely.
Now esports and gaming has superseded that. Like, are you kidding me? Like,
exactly right, Jed. And to that point is that as we see our generation who did grow up, playing the video games and really starting to understand why they're so much fun, and the older
collecting baseball cards.
Yes.
I saw your post recently. Sorry.
Yes. I love baseball cards. Yeah. I'll get into that another day, because there's a lot of things I mean, look, baseball cards are like cryptocurrency, man. Like, there's a lot of correlation, and probably one of the reasons why I'm in crypto to begin with is just I love collecting, and I love building potential value in something that I'm speculative on. So
Gary Vee, baby. Sorry to interrupt you.
No.
I love your post, and I was passionate about it, so I had to throw that in.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. No, we're on the same page. But what I'm seeing is that our generation, we now have children. A lot of us do, and we all have friends who have kids, or we're uncles and aunts, and we're recognizing why these kids are playing, number one, and number two, we're seeing and we're open to the fact that this is going to change the way that people play video games. I mean, like the esports, the Fortnite stuff. Even people who don't like Fortnite can still watch Fortnite and be pretty impressed with the gameplay. It's got a very unique way of captivating an audience and not just playing it, because I'm not a great Fortnite player. I was hiding in the bushes half the game when I was playing in Vegas just because I knew that these kids were going to kill me. And if I could just get a lucky couple shots, right, I'll throw a bunch of grenades. Maybe I can win. Who knows? But the point remains this, is that this next generation, they're going to be all over this. It's going to be part of their life, and they're not going to know anything different. And that's what's going to change everybody's mind. Is that when they're 25, when they're 30, they're 35 years old, and they're literally all still playing Fortnite. I mean, it's going to be a huge deal, folks. And Jed, you're in front of it, as noted before. But what do we need to end with, man? I got a couple of questions for you for the quick fire, but let's get some final thoughts.
Sure. So first off, I'm a mama's boy. I love you, mama.
Cheers.
But it's so important for the younger generations to be educated about this space. It's so important because at the end of the day, like, they're the driving force of the future. It's just reality. No disrespect to anybody, but the younger generations are critical to the future of this world. And
that's always a fact. It was a fact 100 years ago.
Yeah, it's timeless. By offering this product that it's extremely popular, people love to do it, they can monetize their passion. All of this is fantastic. Offering a gateway for anybody to adopt cryptocurrency, blah, blah, blah. All of this is fantastic. But to have a product and a platform like we do, that when I said the 15 to 24, which I believe is the proper demographic that spends that amount of time gaming,
sure.
Think about like who we're actually educating and who we're actually onboarding to the industry. Is we're onboarding the future. Yes. Plain and simple, we're onboarding the future. And for them to understand the technology is fantastic. What about the values and the morals and the intent of the industry as a whole? What about teaching them that? What about framing and shaping the way that these younger generations think and perceive the world, and to understand that like this decentralized, trustless, distributed way of doing things is so important. Not just blockchain's important and it makes a lot of sense, but what blockchain stands for is the thing about blockchain. Hands down, what blockchain stands for is the most important thing about the industry. So we're not just showcasing them the technology, we're showcasing a mentality. We're showcasing a perspective and empowering to say, like, it doesn't have to be the way that it's always been. Things can change. And this is a mechanism that allows for that change. And so great, they get to experience the technology, but that's infinitely more important. And we're doing it to the right age group that can and will help the industry, but more importantly, it can and will help the world. And that's like being a part of something special. There's nothing I could be more passionate about, and that's the beauty of why I get up every day and just grind 7 days a week. I work on this project, and that's what keeps me going.
And I know that about you, and folks, I'll vouch for that statement all day long. This dude's always working. No, Jed, it's been an honor to have you on. I've been very fortunate to get to see you last week or last couple weeks, 2 weeks ago, and get to hang out, hug your neck a little bit. But more importantly, I'm watching you from the sidelines, as you know, and as everybody here knows, as someone who likes to play games, who likes to get in the Fortnite and Apex lobbies and talk some smack, win some D-bets. Now, I've really enjoyed the product. And full disclosure, and I probably should have said this earlier, I do. And you could just see, I actually own some D-bets and I enjoy playing them. I tend to lose them. So the price of whether it goes up or not, it has no effect on me because I'm just giving it away anyways. But I love what you stand for. I love what you're building. I'm truly, truly proud of what D-bet has become. And it's something that obviously that I truly enjoy. Like it's part of what I do on a daily basis as at times. So anyways, but now it's time for a quick fire, dude. It's a segment at the very end that I ask questions. Get ready. These are yes or no questions for the most part. Feel free to expand. And also if you don't want to answer, no problem. You can pass. But they're crypto-ish related, but they're also Jed related, and I'd like to do this to give Jed an actual a face outside of the blockchain. Like, who are you? Like, what do you like to do? And relate to people a little bit, right? So we'll start with number one, the easy one. And that is favorite movie of all time. And if you have to choose two, that's okay. I know this is hard.
Oh, favorite movie. That you kind of asked me something more challenging. I don't know. I love comedies. I love to laugh. I love positivity. I love optimism. Favorite movie of all time. Wow, I wish you would have prepared me for this.
I probably should have. I usually try to, but I was so excited about getting on live, and I finally got a hold of you, right? So I was like, "Let's go."
Sure. Yeah.
All right, we'll come back to this one. All right.
Let me think about that. Thank you.
All right. So, aliens, have they ever visited planet Earth while humans have been here?
Yes. If you quick fire, I have to answer yes. I mean, I think we'd be naive to think that we're the only intelligent organism. Sure. I mean, the galaxy is infinite. It's insane. So I'm open-minded.
But have they visited Earth while humans have been here? Not do aliens exist?
Yeah. So I have to. My instincts say yes. I don't know.
Yeah, this is not I mean, nobody can prove you wrong. They can just say I haven't seen any evidence, or I think there is some evidence, but anyways. All right.
Can I ask you, what's your answer to that question?
I mean, I'm a huge Star Trek guy, right? So Jean-Luc Picard, Star Trek, that's right. Hashtag LLAP, live long and prosper. My theory is that aliens or some intelligent beings operate in the universe. And I've said this a couple times on the podcast. If you think about it, Jed, stars, the energy that a star produces is a tremendous amount. And as outside of until they supernova, it's really infinite energy. I don't think anybody could ever use all the energy of a star, but there's so much energy and there's so many stars throughout the whole universe. How can there be that much energy and only Earth benefiting from this? Right. So on a universe level, that's a lot of energy. Now, what if these badass, these badass beings flying around space are just like stars are like gas stations, right? Like they're just showing up. Like maybe even they even built the stars. Who knows? They show up, they refuel their jet or their spacecraft, and then they head over to wherever. Maybe it's Earth. Now, if you look at Ancient Aliens in the series there's a lot of craziness. I watched every single episode of that just for entertainment value, but there's also a lot of really interesting perspectives in those things. So I can't say no. That's the easiest answer. I cannot say no.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Me too. Yeah.
All right. Bitcoin as a political party, yes or no?
Oh, in what regard?
Open-ended. What does it mean to you when I say that?
That's tough. So, I think
it won't
see.
No, come on.
Yeah, but I mean, it's such a big.
No, I'm joking. I understand.
No, so like I think definitely here in the near future we'll see Bitcoin as a part of political campaigns. Sure. I don't think that the way governments work today, that independent, outside the box thinking candidates will realistically ever win like a presidency, for example. I think we're a little ways out from that still, just because their hooks are very deep in the two major parties in the United States, at least. But, you know, we've already seen politicians speak about it, and as the industry evolves, it's only going to get more relevant, and therefore it will impact politics. Will it ever be its own party? No.
Okay, I respect that answer.
Will it impact and be relevant? Yes.
Perfectly said. Bitcoin to $1 million. Can it happen?
Of course. Absolutely.
Great answer. I love that answer. I also agree, because it's not will it, it's can it. So I phrase it very differently than
and it's supply and demand ratio. The beautiful thing about Bitcoin is just supply and demand ratios. There only so much could ever exist. So there's some like number, I forget, it was like 5% of like the Forex market. If 5% of the Forex market adopted Bitcoin, the price would be, I think it was $1 million or somewhere close to that. It needs very little traction based on the limited supply for that to actually happen. So yeah, absolutely.
All right. And great answer, by the way. I mean, like nobody can debate that, right? Like that's what everything you just said is pretty much fact, you know? Agreed. Yeah, I do say this, like for Bitcoin to reach $1 million, there's probably going to be some really hard times ahead of us as far as a population, because, you know, economies are going to have to fall. I'm a maximalist when it comes to Bitcoin needs to always exist, but I'm not a maximalist to other things can't exist under that umbrella, you know, of crypto and blockchain. But nevertheless, a great answer. Like I said, Jed, and I pretty much agree with you for the most part. All right, let's go back to movies. Have you thought about your favorite movie yet?
So yeah. It's hard. I can't say one. I'll rattle off.
Rattle them off.
I'll try to keep it short. One of the movies that's like has just an impact to me is like Dumb and Dumber. Like I'll never forget sitting in the movie theater and like almost falling out of my chair, laughing out loud, like uncontrollably. That movie was ridiculous. Like the first time you watched it was just crazy. Incredible. Another one that's close to my heart is Big. I don't know. Big. I'm a child.
Tom Hanks, classic.
I love that. Usual Suspects, fantastic movie.
Absolutely.
Sixth Sense. I remember.
Oh yeah. M. Night Shyamalan.
Like, what? Like, he was dead the whole time.
I also was not one of these really cool people who had everything figured out. Right. I was the person who was sitting there like, oh man, it changed the ways I saw movies, man.
Yeah, it knocked me off my chair. It's just like I had to watch it again almost immediately, because I was like, wait, there's no way I missed that the whole time. But the way that they produced that, directed it, whatever it's called, and never showed you until you watched it the second time, like the red doorknob and the red, and there was like some hints, but you never got it until you got it. I just remember like, you know, wow, I
agree.
Yeah, Braveheart.
Oh, keep talking, baby. That's what I'm saying. Absolutely. One of the best of all times. And so you going to tie it off there?
I could keep going, but how much time do we have?
No, I mean, and I understand. Obviously, movies are something that I know that you enjoy, and you travel a lot too. So they obviously entertaining yourself is always a big deal. You know, I'm also like kind of going back to Sixth Sense just because now I'm motivated to mention this. Is The Village. That was one that really, like, when I saw it for the first time, it blew me away. Like, I mean, I've seen it probably 50 times in my life. But I don't know if you've ever seen The Village,
Of
Jedidiah. But
course, yeah, of
yeah,
course.
that was like when I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't. I'm sure most of you have, but at the very end, when you figure out what the situation actually was, I was like, that is amazing. I'm going there. Like, where are
Wasn't
you
it
at?
Jacqueline Phoenix? Wasn't it Jacqueline
Yeah,
Phoenix?
yep.
Yeah,
And yeah,
and then,
it's several of the obviously M. Night always makes an appearance in his movies too.
yeah, and usually, have you seen Usual Suspects?
I have seen it, but it's probably been a decade, man.
The ending of that is similar to like Sixth Sense. The Village is just like Kaiser Soze, and I won't spoil it for anybody that
Yeah.
hasn't seen it.
I'm gonna
But
have to rewatch this.
when you get it at the end, you're just like, what? Like, wow! I don't know. I
Kevin
love those
Spacey.
really. It's yeah, Kevin Spacey. It's like intellectually almost challenging.
Fair.
I love that, and I love the like the big and Dumb and Dumber just have
Of
special
course,
places.
Dumb and Dumber, dude. I've probably seen Dumb and Dumber. I would not be surprised if it was over 300 or 400 times in my life.
Yeah, I'm a
Just
junkie.
back, back in the day, like you'd have to put something in the DVD player. There was no Netflix, right? I mean, I owned the movie, so I would literally just stay in my DVD player, and my TV would turn off. I'd turn it on at night. It was still playing there, at the home screen. Just press play, and you fall asleep to it.
Yeah,
That's
and
one of
then
my
one
favorites.
thing going off topic, like this much, The Office.
Mm-hmm.
TV show, not a movie. I was a huge Seinfeld fan, and I think like The Office it reminds me of Seinfeld. I don't know, it kind of had the same.
There's a nostalgia about it that reminds me, especially now that The Office is over and it's older now. There's a very similar feel to it.
I've seen every episode. I don't know how many times. I just like something to put on in the background. Always enjoyable.
Yep.
Like you said about Dumb and Dumber, I could put The Office on any day of the week, any episode.
Let it go.
Quite true.
Dude, yeah, classics. I hate that those things are over now, and we can't watch them again for the first time. That was such a wonderful time, but there'll be more hopefully that we can enjoy similar. Anyways, Jed, thanks for coming on, man. It's been great to have you. Where can people find you at, man?
They can find me anywhere. I'm everywhere.
That's true.
Anywhere.
Let's talk about on the internet.
On the internet, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all the standard places. We have some fantastic DBET communities. We have a great Discord channel where not only can you speak to the team members, but you can also, there's a lot of like fun chats where they're Fortnite oriented or Apex Legends, and you can do a lot of like banter and challenges. And as our
teammates, having teammates is an important part of this.
Yep, and as we do like the peer-to-peer stuff, which will be rolled out here soon.
Oh, like 1v1s?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Coming with tournaments.
Yeah, we'll talk about that soon.
How fun would it be to like, okay, I'll challenge you. Okay, I'll challenge you. Who
and
wants
then
to
broadcast it? Oh yeah.
Apex,
dude. I'm gonna, dude. That's gonna bring about a certain dynamic in this whole space where you can settle it, publicly on a live, and there's accountability because now you have to pay this dude, right?
Yes,
so I look forward to it.
And we're creating social sharing features where not only can you compete, not only are you held accountable, but if you win, you can push it immediately to your social channels and say, "That's right,
sure, the wait is over."
Who's next?
Who's next?
That's one of the fun things about competing, right? It's all in good fun. It's not about like being egotistical or anything like that. It's just it's give it a go. Let's give it a go. Like
let's do it. Put your money where your mouth is, right? The whole original, be accountable. Like you got to show up.
And sometimes you eat your words, and sometimes you can laugh. But
I was talking smack to all those Vegas kids. I realized real quick that I had to say, "Oh, sorry." All the the Vegas minigunners.
Yeah, how good are these kids? Like,
no, they were incredible.
Minigunners for sure. Then even like the younger generations, like it's amazing to like play a game and just anybody at any age can beat anybody. It doesn't matter. Like a 12-year-old, a 15-year-old, an 18-year-old will kick your.
That's right.
Behind.
All right. Well, we're running up on the hour, Jed. Thanks again for coming on, man. It means a lot. I'm wishing you nothing but success. I will be on the sticks tonight. If you get interested, mouse and keyboard style, I'd be happy to 1v1 you if you want me to beta test with you. But look,
you're using your Xbox controller. Don't lie.
No, you're right. I will. I was just trying to hide things. But everybody, this is Decent.Bet, play Decent.gg. Go check them out. Make sure you give Jed some love. Tell him you said you saw the video. Make sure you you go support the project, especially if you're a gamer. You know, if you can, just go check it out. No one's asking you to do nothing. Just go look at it. You know. Anyways, we'll see you next time. WBTC. Jed, any last words?
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, crypto community. Thank you, blockchain in general, for
Cheers.
changing the world and doing everything we can. Come check us out. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your feedback. Reach out to us. We have a great support team. We can never thank you all enough. Nothing's possible without all of us doing it together. So
got it. Nailed it. Yep. All right, WBTC. It's where Bitcoin lives. Take care of the cryptoverse. If we don't, who will? It's up to me and you. I know Jed's doing his part. I'm doing mine. What are you doing? Till next time.